ask you this question. How do you handle stress? How do you answer that question like a boss?
This is actually one of my favorite questions to ask in an interview because it's a behavioral question. It's actually a really hard question to ask human beings because everyone has to deal with stress and everyone has different ways of dealing with it. How is your answer going to apply to this job? I mean, it's kind of a trick question because you kind of want to hear that they don't get stressed out, but you also want to know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's also a good indication if they're asking you that question, it's probably a stressful job. It could be a red flag if it's something you're looking to not have in a job. But how to handle stress. So there's two good answers for it. One is if you do have stress, how do you de-stress? Where are your stress outlets? Are the stress outlets at work, which is probably the wrong answer. So this would be a bad example. I like to yell at people when I get stressed out. So I yell at the people next to me at work. They don't want to hear that. For me personally, which I could give you an example for, if I'm stressed out after work, I keep calm and collect at work. After work, if I feel stressed out, I just go to the gym or I go for a run, and that's my outlet, and I'm good for like after an hour of that. I'm good if I am stressed out. The answer that I'm looking for while at work, when you're stressed, a good answer for if you get stressed at work, a great answer would be I work the best under stress because it keeps me aligned with my values. It gets me proactive in my job so I don't have to handle as much stress as if it were to becoming last minute towards the deadline. And it really just drives me to keep doing well at work. And that's a really good answer for that question. You don't want to say how the stress makes you bogged down, it makes you cluttered, gets you jittery, gets you nervous. Those they're not looking for the honest answer of how humans actually handle stress.
Right.
They're looking for how do you deal with it on a day-to-day so that you don't blow up. And then if you do have too much stress, where's your outlet and how do you handle it? And if you can answer the questions with good answers like being strategic about how to use stress, like take a bad thing and make it a good thing, and then where's your outlet in a nice calm and collect area, that's what they're really looking for. And that, if it is a stressful job, like I said before, if they're asking that, it might be, that's a really good answer for it. And they'll just breeze right by it. Great. He checked off that stress level and we're good to go. If you can handle stress in general, as you start moving up the ranks and you accept more and more responsibility, stress usually becomes larger and larger and larger, and you're gonna have to keep dealing with stress for yourself. And if you can handle it well, it's just gonna be a breeze to move up the ranks.
And that's usually what I go with. Usually, I mean, in my experience, when I get asked that question, I'm in a manager position, I just say, hey, what I do is I just take a step back, reanalyze the situation, and attack it from there. Now, it does no good to complain about it. There's no good to vent about it because no one's trying to hear that. The main goal is the answer. And you find the answer, then after I find the answer, I reflect on it and look back at to what could I have done to prevent that or minimize that, or what can I do again in the future. And after work, usually food and it depends how much rapport I have with the interviewer, and the cocktail will do the trick to decompress. But but other than that, or a good sports game. And then something.